Hi again. So today is Friday, May 15th, and last week, Thursday, which was I think Thursday the 7th, I want to say, I had the day off from work, so I did some, appointments and imaging that I hadn't been able to schedule before while I was working. So I had a brain MRI, I had abdominal CT with contrast, and then Wednesday morning, Wednesday the 13th, so 2 days ago, um, I had a couple phone calls. So I had a phone call from the regarding the brain MRI, and that one they want me to follow up with a neurologist because there was some stuff they saw that could be a little bit problematic, but didn't sound like anything super urgent. They just want me to, if I haven't scheduled within the next couple weeks, they want me to call and make sure that I schedule that. But, it didn't sound like a big deal. But then I missed a call from the GI doctor, and they wanted me to call back to discuss the results. So I called back, and they kept me on the phone for a long time trying to track her down, and she was with a patient. So then they just said she would call me back. She called me back within like 5 minutes and said that there was some. She explained all this to me, but it was kind of went by in a blur. But then I went back and I looked at the results that they released in my chart. So basically, markedly distended abdomen, thickening of the duodenal wall near, I forget exactly what it was, but anyway, finding suspicious for gastric outlet obstruction secondary to stricture or mass. So that was that, and she told me they already had set up a time for me to go get an endoscopy for next Tuesday. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was like, I need to talk to work. I can't just like say, hey, I'm not going to be here. And so she says, so if they give you any pushback, just tell them it's urgent. And I was like, okay, will do. So I talked to my boss that day. I had a meeting, probably an hour or two after that with my boss. She was already coming in for a meeting, so I talked about it with her, and she's amazing. She's great. So, there was no issue there. But so I don't know. And I talked to my son about it, and we had part of our conversation where I said something like, I've always been the type to just not go to the worst case scenario off the bat and not really worry until there's something to worry about. And he looked at me and he goes, it's okay to like be concerned, it's okay to feel something. And so I think part of it is I'm always trying to protect him and not burden him and not stress him out unnecessarily, especially. Or, even my mom and dad, like I just told them, oh, I have an endoscopy, that I have to go get done or whatever. But, I left out the part where the most likely scenario is malignant. Malignancies account for 50 to 80% of gastric outlet obstructions. So I left that part out because they would obsess over it, and I don't need anybody obsessing over it and putting that energy into the universe. So that's where we're at. So yesterday I didn't really vlog, although I do want to document this journey, however short or long it'll be. I think it's just because I was so tired, because I've been an insomniac all my life, and it's just random on and off, and I never know. So Wednesday night, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just kind of doom scrolling, as you do. And sometimes, I can tell it's going to be one of those nights where my body's just like, yeah, no, I'm not ready to sleep yet. Or sometimes I'm overtired and then I just can't sleep. So anyway, so I slept like 4 hours Wednesday night. So Thursday, I did not, I don't like to make any major decisions when I'm sleep deprived, much less like go on camera. So that was my mom writing to me. I'll write her back in a minute. But yeah, so I did not share that statistic with my son, and I haven't shared it with anybody, even the few people that I've talked to about this, endoscopy or whatever. And it's not something that I'm obsessing over or like gonna get dramatic about or anything, but like, mathematically, if you look at the math, like the odds aren't great. So it's something that you do kind of think about. You're like, it does make you think about, if something were to happen, like what is my life going to look like? Like, is this going to be like the last few days of normalcy that I have? Is this going to be like the best I ever feel? Like that type of thing. And I think that's pretty normal. But like I said, it's not like my every, I'm not obsessing over it. I'm not lingering in it. I'm not, thinking about it every second and making it my whole life now. Like that's not a thing that's happening. But I think this is a way for me to like address that and put it out there. And, I want to be able to look back and see like how I was feeling, how I was thinking. And maybe, if I do end up posting these, I haven't posted the first one yet either, because I don't know. I might end up posting them just privately, and like you have to have a link to see it. So, maybe close family or friends. And I don't even know if I want them to see that. It almost feels like I would rather have like strangers on the internet that might be able to relate or benefit from this see it, rather than like close family that might just like stress out and freak out, but yeah, it helps to kind of address it and like put it out there, and that way it's not just rattling around in the back of my brain, and I can just go on with my day. I'm gonna go home, have dinner with my son, I might go shopping, just normal life, because it could be just totally fine. I could be in that like 20% that's, some other reason that's not a malignancy. And then my life will go on with whatever treatment I need to do for that. And then if I would have obsessed or like, been all dramatic and be like, oh my God, I might be dying, like between now and then it would, for what reason? And even if it is going to be bad news, like, will it help at all? Will there be any change in the outcome or any positive outcome from me, like obsessing and like stressing between now and then? No. But it does enter your mind, and you have to kind of accept the fact that, well, the math is the math. Like 50 to 80% malignancy like possibility, like the odds aren't great, but I could be in that 20%. So, and if positive vibes and positive thinking have anything to do with, nudging anything in one direction or another at all, then that's what I'm going to do. So, in any case, I think that's good for now, and I will try to maybe post something tomorrow, or not post because I haven't even posted the first one yet. Maybe film, and then we'll kind of go from there and see what happens. All right, talk to you later.